Hello, everyone! Welcome to the stream, only partially delayed with mild technical difficulties. You may notice that Chip is marginally more stationary than usual, and that she's staring into your soul as if she's going to murder you. Do not be alarmed. That is because she is a still image. We have captured her soul by taking photographs of her. It's a totally legit thing. But, hello to my lovely cast. How are you all this week?
Dark.
Dark, yeah.
Jamie is joining me live from the darkness this week.
Yeah. That's gonna get so confusing. Yeah. Sinking into the literal darkness of Joe's room, which probably means you're gonna do something really important right now, because, you know, main characters have no lighting. Is the rule of the Snowocalypse. Yeah, so let's have it's been like 2 weeks since we last did one of these, so let's whip around and ask how everyone is doing. Dear Johnny, we'll start with you. How has life been?
Life's been good. I recently went to a land called Insomnia, where I spent a weekend playing Dota non-stop and entered into a tournament to win £5,000.
How did you do?
Which we lost.
I imagined, so.
We won 2 games out of 6.
Okay. That's actually pretty respectable, considering we're a bunch of 3K mask grabs.
We came... Well, 3K was our best player. We also had, like, Bex, and that doesn't make any sense. We're going to move on, because no one else here knows any of this stuff. But basically, yeah, we had an awful team. But we came 21st out of 32 teams.
Okay. Respectable.
So, yeah.
Respectable for a first time at a tournament.
I'm keeping up our girl quota here, because I have my girlfriend Jenny here, who's staying with me currently, and she is currently watching on the stream.
And keeping an eye on Super Skitty Seal Kitty 5000.
Yes. She is
now
our
pumping a wall. Good.
So, yeah, she'll be in chat.
Fantastic.
Don't tell us to do anything stupid. I'm watching you chat.
Got our eyes on you.
Oh no.
Yeah, Chip. How's life treating you? On the internet, we last saw each other on our Blades in the Dark one shot, where
Yes, we did.
you played a transsexual sniper with a pterodactyl.
Yes.
What?
Which I think made her the most normal character.
Okay.
Must be second most
For
normal.
those of you that missed it, try and find it on the internet. My pterodactyl was called Buckbeak, and it was just... Yeah, was... I can't really explain it any further than that. It was
it was a pretty beautiful time. Yeah, there's the Encounter Roleplay guys have it.
Flicker,
Yeah.
that is the most unnerving picture of my face I've ever seen. The picture itself looked okay until you zoomed in on my face. And now I literally look like I'm trying to kill people with my face.
I
So thank
mean,
you for that.
I have seen my ex-girlfriend give more terrifying stares, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's not meant to be a terrifying stereotype.
Oh, that was a nice, happy, we're about to go out in the town look that I turned into something evil.
Turned it evil.
But yeah, you'll be fine. If not, if you can send me something in the next break that you'd prefer.
I will.
Yes, as for that Blaze the Dark one shot, I will make sure to get that. Either get the Encounter Roleplay guys to upload it, or give me the video file, and I'll put it up myself.
I was like, you know.
Yeah. A system we will definitely be revisiting at some point down the line on this channel. Hopefully with you people. Yes! But how is life elsewise? You good?
Life is exceedingly boring.
Aww.
And I wish I was back at university. So I could
Chip,
so I could actually do something with my life and go and see my boyfriend.
Life is hard. Life is hard when you're Chip.
Oh, the struggle is so real.
Alright. Well, now that we've had that depressing stuff.
Those guys.
Yeah, no, just glossing over your problems. Joe, how are you? You're muted. Still muted. Hello?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good! Monosyllables. Love it.
Yeah, I totally didn't press the wrong button. That never happens.
Good stuff.
He did have more to say, but only I heard it. So, nah.
Yeah. There was a lot of nurring back and forth today in our little chat. And then finally, on the day of his 22nd birthday, which we'll... This is his present, I suppose, from me live on the day. Jamie, how's it going, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Not a lot, not a huge amount to say.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Jamie!
Thanks, Chip, again.
Rip headphone users. Yeah, have you done anything nice? There was a picture earlier today of a bacon sandwich with some candles in it.
That has still been the highlight of the day. I watched.
But this is going to become the highlight, right?
I watched all 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies this morning. I had lunch with my folks, and
Wow.
this is it. So yeah, that's it.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Fair. Yes.
So yeah, sorry about the disappointing
Be
news
fine. I'm coming back to Peterborough this weekend for a thing. We'll get drunk.
there.
I shouldn't have said that. Fuck it. Finally, you know all about me because I'm here all the time. So fuck you, stream viewers. Yes. Oh, and the last thing about Jenny Cracker5 in the chat is that if you've ever seen any of the cool fan art stuff that she's done on our Reddit page, you should totally tell her that it's awesome and great because it's really awesome and great.
She's done more, by the way, which are going to get posted soon.
Exciting stuff. Cool. So, I guess we should play a game or something. Isn't that what we usually do around here? Before we play a game, let us have a brief discussion. Would anyone like to kind of recap? I guess almost like I'm considering this about our mid-season break. We basically did about 12 hours of Snowocalypse up till the point we broke at. So I'm guessing there is roughly, it's basically half a season, and then we're about to move into the second half of the season where everything's going to go horribly wrong now that we've done all the character development. So yeah, who would like to recap kind of roughly what's going on at the moment for me?
I won.
It's a good, succinct,
Right, let's move on.
succinct version of events. Anyone got any more details on Tudor 1?
I rallied some people, assembled an army, then decided, actually, let's not use this army, and
Yeah, I know.
just go home.
It's fair. It's fair. So yeah, let's just get a quick recap of like how everyone is kind of doing after the giant revolution and civil war we had in the last session. So Tudor won, ish. He kind of was put in position by Parcher the Kingmaker. How is Midnight doing in the kind of leading up to and in the aftermath of the Civil War, Chip?
She's alright.
Other than being like beaten to
I
shit.
remember her a lot, so I'm presuming she's okay.
Yeah, you know, she just got beaten to shit, then tried to run away, and then failed miserably.
She's a really, really strong person.
Yeah,
So
she's a strong, independent woman who doesn't need no man.
she's a strong, independent woman who don't need no man, don't need no one, you know, so...
It's good. It's good stuff.
she survives anything. She'll survive a nuclear attack if she has to, because that's just who she is.
That seems reasonable. Yeah. How did Stein do out of his version of the Civil War, Jamie?
Stein essentially got mentally and psychically, physically. Well, yeah, Stein
Violated, I think is the word.
violated is the nicest way of saying it. Yeah, he had an encounter with an entity called Rachel, and she basically appeared out of Freed, the Doctor, who's basically been my manservant for the last couple of episodes.
Yeah, how things work out.
Yeah, she knows more about Stein than Stein is comfortable with, and it's kind of spooked him. And there was a lot of hair, from what I remember.
Yeah,
But,
it seems her psychic medium is is like this weird projection of her hair.
Yeah,
Turns
you're gonna have
into
to
weird
remind me
Maya as well.
of the dude's name who basically challenged me in getting out of the underground.
Yeah,
He did not like me.
I'm gonna need to remind myself, to be honest. Isaac.
Isaac,
I have
that's
on
the
my
one.
sheet.
No, I named the guy.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
like name half my NPCs for me.
I know because
I'm
sorry,
really bad at
crap
it.
at naming stuff. Yeah, basically, Stein and Isaac are kind of at loggerheads, but are work together to get everyone out of
Slowly
yeah, basically get
depreciating
them
air
up.
resource bad place.
Yeah, Isaac currently has hold of Stein's headgear, which I think we agreed was worth a barter or something.
Yep.
In exchange for basically him doing what I tell him, and
Yeah.
I'll have the set returned as soon as I've made sure Freed is okay
Yeah.
and got him back on his feet. who has passed out and in a very bad way from being possessed.
Kind of just
Rachel
started screaming, lunged for a gun. They kicked him away. He just kind of had a small fit and then kind of went into a semi-coma.
Yeah.
He's doing real good. He's doing real good. Yeah, it turns out, nightmarish possession by a weird hair psychic is bad for you.
Yeah, and to top everything off, everyone thinks that Stein's slightly mad because they didn't see any of this, and they just think that
They just heard gunshots and screaming, and they came back and Preed's on the ground frothing.
Yeah.
Only you're around. Yeah.
So Stein, while everyone was celebrating and partying, Stein's had a pretty hard time looking after Preed and getting him back on his feet while also, sort of wondering what the hell happened and if he's actually okay, because he's not sure if this Rachel girl is now in him, this experience that he had, what effects this experience has had. That's what he's trying to figure out at the moment.
Yeah, cool. So and finally Lux. How is Lux doing in the aftermath of everything?
Well, yeah, because basically she assembled an army, did some quick thinking to get everyone down. Assembled an army, negotiated a ceasefire, utilizing the army with a couple of casualties, but.
Yeah,
mostly peaceful.
Yeah, it was a far lower casualty rate than I was expecting. So props.
And then everything was sorted, and she basically got with Reimer.
Nice. But didn't you have a moment of regret where you were like, wait a second, because you inspired yourself with the thought of Midnight on a roll?
Yeah,
and basically realized this is a terrible mistake. Why am I with this guy when I could be with the supermodel lady who's amazing?
It was more, yeah. But then some reason we just started going into an orgy. I have no idea why.
No, yeah. No, it was a giant party. I don't think it was actually an orgy. Because
orgy.
there is actually a distinction within his move that he can do either or.
Fair. Well, it was a party. We got very drunk.
Yeah, there's probably some small contained orgy throughout said party.
Yeah, so
then everything turned into a giant party and
since then I've kind of Lux has just kind of been keeping an eye.
We'll get to how the last week has gone. Trust me.
Sorry. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
She's absolutely fine, basically. Just she's fine. Oh yeah, do I need to roll my driver move for that?
Which one? Sorry.
My special move for sleeping with Reimer.
If you guys had sex, then yes, you do. I didn't actually realize you guys had sex, so yes.
I think we probably, with the party afterwards, I think we probably did.
Fair enough. Give me that roll. Let's see whether Reimer owns your soul.
Yes. Cool. Which is 2d6 plus roll plus cool.
It's cool. Okay.
Wait, do we need to highlighting first?
Sure. Let's do. I won't show that on stream. Okay. So right, open your character sheets, lady and gentleman, for we have some stats to deliver, and one of them is so delightful because I think chat is really trying to help Midnight, and they just completely fucked her up, because with 3 votes. Chip, highlight Midnight's weird.
Okay.
For which, context by the way, she has a -2.
Oh!
As in, only a double 6 gets her a full success. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yes, for Tudor, with an overwhelming 4 out of 6 votes, you get your weird.
Nice.
Lux, we have to flip a coin for you. You're not gonna like this almost either way. I don't actually have a proper coin here. I just have a bottle cap. It's probably worrying. That side up.
Do you want me to flip a coin from it? What are the 2 options? I'll flip to the side.
No, it's good. It's good. Huh? Highlight your weird, dear.
For fuck's sake.
It was a choice between hard and weird.
So between +1 or -1.
Yeah. And then finally, Stein, you also get to highlight your weird. It's the night of weird today. That's what people have declared.
Hi, chat.
How weird.
Hey, you're terrible. Okay, so let's do a quick whip through and have people highlight. So we'll go that way around. Who has the highest hex with Lux?
+3.
Probably going to be Stein.
+1.
Yeah, okay. Stein, pick a stat for Lux.
Lux can be sharp.
Yeah!
Oh,
You're welcome.
Aren't you nice?
Making up for my awful win.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do.
Who has the highest hex with Midnight?
2.
I think that's the highest.
2.
Okay, that's
With Midnight. Sorry, what was that? 1.
Okay, I'll give it to Tudor this time, because Stein just did one.
Hot.
Cool. Midnight,
Yay.
I'll let you hot. Who has the highest hex with Tudor?
2.
1.
1.
So goes to the 2, so Midnight, pick a stat for Tudor.
Sharp.
Weird and sharp. Okay. And then finally, who has the highest hex with Stein?
1.
0.
Tudor? Stein?
2.
Okay, pick a stat for Stein then.
Sharp.
Sharp for Stein. Okay. This is the thinking night, apparently. Except for Midnight, who's just got to go get weird and seduce people. But the rest of you are meant to be, like, thinking and being creepy. Cool! So yes, a little small amount of bookkeeping that we'll get into in a moment. If you have, on your harm, I believe one of you has 3 harm, 2 of you have 9 harm, and Stein has 0 harm.
I have 3 harm.
Okay.
It was
I
from
have-
the experience with...
Rachel, probably.
Yeah, I think Freed actually attacked me. And I
Oh
took
yeah,
small
Preed
harm
was
off it.
punching the shit out of you while Kenneth
I have
possessed.
Yeah.
0 harm.
Okay, so Stein, take that 3 harm off.
Okay.
Midnight and Tudor, who are both on 9, you guys are still on 9.
Brilliant.
Oh, that's shit.
Yep. This is at 9 harm, like at 3 harm it kind of goes away with a little bit of time. At 9 harm, it doesn't go away without medical attention. If you get any worse, it starts to accelerate, and like you will just die without medical attention eventually. So be careful.
Can I ask a quick question?
You can.
With the... So I'm never quite sure with the opening of Way into the Psychic Maelstrom, like, when would I use that move? Like, because is it just to find out random bits of it
I think
as opposed to like reading a sitch or person?
The text is when you open your brain to the world's psychic maelstrom, roll plus weird and hit the MC will tell you something new and interesting about the current situation and might ask you a question or two. Answer them. Yeah, I think it's kind of... Yeah, it's maybe when you don't know you want to know answers to things, answers to questions you couldn't possibly know the answer to, just using your senses, or when you're like trying to feel. Oh, I've done the wrong thing on this page. When you're trying to feel out, say, an idea that doesn't exist yet. I've unfortunately I forgot to do the second overlay for Chip's face, so she's gonna have her actual Skype profile picture in there. Oh well. Cool. Yes. So. First of all, Lux's sex move with Reimer. Let's see how much Reimer owns you.
Well, he doesn't own me at all.
No.
It's how much I have to prove that he doesn't own me.
Oh yeah,
It's the only
sorry.
thing that could happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Give me that 2d6 plus cool. There's
I'm
a
fine.
9.
That's as what goes a 10
Okay.
when it's an NPC.
Cool.
Because it's... what that would give me is... As I quickly find it. Driver special. If you and another character have sex, roll plus cool. On a 10 plus, it's cool, no big deal. On a 79, give them +1 HX with you on their sheet, but give yourself -1 to your HX with them on yours.
Okay.
On a miss, you've got to go take -1 ongoing until you prove it's not like they own you or nothing.
Cool. All right. Well then,
So,
you're fine.
It's cool. Yeah, we hooked up. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
No big deal.
It was like a slight moment where you're like, but then I was like, that's fine. You're not a
Yeah.
player character. Cool.
Basically.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with. It's been about a week since the success of the Civil War, and yeah, in that week, the kind of initial euphoria of Tudor's victory has worn off a bit, and in doing so, things have gotten a little bit ropey. For instance, you have no doctor and no medical supplies at all. You basically just working with bandages and stuff like that, and your doctor is a collapsed heap lying in Stein's workspace. Stein, on the other hand, has had no time to work on that because he's been busy trying to do 3 people's jobs simultaneously. Because the 2 people who lead the kind of the large workforce teams, the excavators and the machinists, the guys who kind of do the heavy lifting, the carrying, the actual working machines, both of those team leaders died. And the only person who has enough expertise and anything close to leadership qualities is Stein, who also has to deal with the fact that, like, movement around Cecil Road is just, like, completely and utterly starving because one lift is trying to do the work of two, which, if you've ever worked on a building with lifts, that doesn't work very well. And in doing so, like, people have been down on the very bottom floor where the wreckage is, trying to clear it out. More injuries have happened. No one is able to treat them. They just kind of get packed, like, bandaged up, and there's a hope that there's no major infection. And also, in the wake of Cecil departing his office, that little panel that he has in his, like, back of his room, it locked again, automatically after about an hour, and you've not been able to get back into it, Tudor. And without it, you don't seem to be able to access certain systems. Like, it seems to be linked to more than just, say, the air supply and the lifts, but, like, machinery seems to periodically, like, break down. Stein, you've been on every single floor fixing something or other. The lights, like, half of them aren't coming on, or come on late, or come on in the middle of the day. You're burning through precious electricity. The water machines regularly stop, which just means that, like, brown sludge comes through, like, the shitty showers and stuff like that. And you've been everywhere trying to fix everything, and you've probably not really slept for more than an hour in, like, a week. You're basically a doctor on call right now, and your patient is dying. You have no doctor, so Tudor and Midnight, you guys are both... Well, like, I think maybe Tudor's realised that he basically has, like, cracked ribs, and is, like, walking places really slowly. I don't know, is there any outward sign of your injuries, or are you very carefully hiding that, Tudor?
I'm carefully hiding it, like Roosevelt style.
Okay. Yeah, it's like you just do all your speeches on, like, a podium or from, like, near where you can, like, hold on to someone else. Stuff like that is a lot of clever and careful manipulation of scenery. But
did we actually kill Cecil then?
At the moment, I have presumed he wasn't dead at the end of the last one, so I presume he is in a prison cell of some description.
Cool.
And Midnight, your leg is, like, really starting to hurt. It's been bandaged up, and there's no bullet in it anymore. But you aggravated it a lot when you sprinted around a house and got hit in the face with a shotgun butt, and now it's beginning to hurt. Like, maybe you undid the bandage a little while, and it doesn't look right. And Lux, I guess I don't really know what you've been doing for the last week. I suppose you've probably been running around looking for supplies and things. So we'll cut back, I suppose, as you return to maybe hand in your report to Tudor on what you saw when you did your last run over to one of the major scavenging stations near the Great Blizzard. And here's
what did I see?
Yeah, the information you have to relate to Tudor is that town is empty, and not of supplies, but of people.
Were there supplies there?
Nope. Just there was, like, a few things, like some of their skidoos and, like, snowsuits and stuff like that. So it doesn't look like they wandered off, but there was no excess supplies. It looks like they hadn't been out in a while. Everything was cold, as if the heating, like, they hadn't turned any of the heating engine and stuff on. Like, it's as close to a ghost town as If you'd heard the term ghost town in a movie, you would be using it right now.
Cool. Alright.
So we cut back into... So, this is actually a question for Tudor. Where's Tudor's, like, office? Like, where have you set up as, like, center of operations, now that you're in charge?
That's a good question, that is.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, I think as you enter this, like, room, wherever it is, maybe Stein is, like, slumped in a chair on the side, or like at the desk, like, having just given off a list of, like, here's all of the things that are broken today. And you've got, like, Margaret standing next to Tudor, like, with a clipboard in hand, and she's, like, looks frazzled and overworked, like, and Tudor, I suppose, Tudor, do you, again, no external signs of exhaustion that is probably plaguing all of you at this point. But yeah.
I'm probably fine.
Yeah, Lux, I assume you're okay. You don't give a crap. Midnight, are you getting entangled with the kind of running of the town, or are you keeping a distance at this point? I'm curious. Chip. Hello. She wandered off. Chip.
Who knows?
Yeah, this is hard to tell. I guess we'll find out in a second. Okay, so yeah, Tudor, where are we? Tell me where you've set up.
Okay, I'm gonna set up in like Cecil's place, but I'm not going to stay in the palace.
Okay, that makes sense.
Gonna
Like,
stay where I
yeah,
was
there's
staying before.
there's probably like rooms where like things like all his documents stuff are kept on trade agreements with other holds and stuff like that.
And I have a quick second question: is like, have I been given any official like job position or promotions or anything with your new? Am I like the head of military, for example, or like, I don't know, like did I get any recognition? Like, have I been beefed up in status at all, or am I
Yeah.
just still the scout person?
After the revolution, I kind of made you my right hand man, well, woman, and
Cool.
Margaret's my left hand woman.
Oh,
Oh, cool. Hey,
And
some-
I wanted to try and keep what was her face on as head of security because she seems to care about
Ella.
her forces.
Ella. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say you'd have difficulty removing her because you guys were winning, but Ella's like, yeah, she's still the biggest badass around.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's currently acquiescing to said demand, but she's kind of a mercenary. Like, she lives here now, so like part of her wages were continued stay and all that jazz, like food, lodging, that kind of stuff. But yeah, she does get a wage along with all her men. And yeah, the kind of funds are running a little low. So yeah, I think as we come in, like with you about to come in to deliver this report, Tudor, I think you're staring at like most of the other holders in the area. Like there's kind of an old boys club almost, politics going on, and no one is talking to you at the moment. Like there's a bit of a thing of no one's recognizing the new monarch. And you're having this thing of, like, you're staring at these reports of the only guy who's talking to you is threatening to basically, like, completely overcharge you for medical supplies and basic, like, gear that, like, Stein has listed off that you need to keep the place running. And yeah, it will, like, drain what little funds you guys have access to get that, and leave you with no money to pay Ella. Or vice versa. And I guess, yeah, you're kind of there going, hoping for Lux to bring you good news.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna walk in and kind of give Tudor the kind of the nod, like to go talk in the side room.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Stein, by the way. Amy. Oh god, people stand at Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, how is like Stein doing kind of at the moment? Or is he just nodding off with the, like, I have 20 minutes?
Stein is wired. So he's awake, but like you can tell by looking at him, he is not okay.
Yeah.
You
can basically, his pupil is less, his eyes have less whites and more reds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he is, as we've kind of touched on before, he's been worked off his ass, and he's any free minute he has, he's trying to work on his side project using the engine that he got from a way back, and he is completely plagued by visions of Rachel.
Oh yeah. No, we'll get to that. I may have watched Battlestar Galactica recently, and maybe drawing ideas from that.
Means nothing to me, so
Yeah, so I guess, yeah, like, Tudor, are you gonna wander over to have a little discussion with Lux? Is that the plan?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah, so I think, yeah, as they wander off, you just hear, like, a voice in your ear, Stein. Just go, well, doesn't look like good news, does it? And yeah, as you kind of turn around, Rachel is just hovering there. Like, sitting as if she was on a chair in midair next to you and just kind of staring over your shoulder as Tudor and Lux walk over to the side of the room. She looks at you like, oh dear, you don't look like you're getting enough sleep. You better perk up, little soldier. I'd hate to lose you. She's been doing this every now and again. She just kind of pops in, says a few words, pops away again.
yeah. From from my first experience, which went so well when I publicly engaged with a speaking ghost lady, as the crowd decided to address her. I have decided against any kind of communication whilst in the presence of others. So I'm sort of grinning and bearing it, not really saying anything to Lux and Tudor.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of trying to hold it together with all of my remaining energy.
Fair enough. Yeah. No energy to engage with Ghost Lady right now.
No.
1 second. Just... Got my eye on you in the chat. Okay, yeah. So... So, tormented by a ghost lady, kind of just goes... You get this, like... And she, like, blows some hair out of her eyes, and then disappears. And yeah, so we'll go into Tudor and Lux. How are you guys doing?
So, boss. We took the boys out to Storm's Edge, and it's empty. Like, it's just completely empty. There's no one there. There's no stuff there. There's like some bikes and shit, but that's literally it.
Yeah.
Like, it there's no one there.
For context, there'd be about 10 to 15 people there.
Oh, right, okay.
So,
I could go and I thought it'd be best to come back straight back here and let you know rather than checking the other towns. But shit's fucked out there.
Was there
Seems like
any
shit.
signs of struggle?
give me a sharp roll.
That's cool. I like doing sharp rolls.
I know you do, buddy. Okay,
That's a good sharp
you
roll.
get 3 questions.
Okay, I need to find the
All my
shield
cameras
song.
are about to go insane, aren't they? Oh! Chip, speak!
Chip cannot speak apparently.
Shit.
Good.
Get the feedback off. I'm sorry, mic though.
Cool. So I get 3 questions. I'm gonna go for. And the first one is who's in control here?
Whilst Johnny's doing that, Finbar, you know how I can...
Well, this is kind of a flashback. But I was gonna say, like, so yeah, so like as you're kind of, so maybe this is when you arrive at this snowy outpost, and you're like wandering into like some old prefab buildings, kind of built with like thicker walls and big insulation and stuff. And you wander around as you like go into like some of the buildings. Yeah, it looks like no one's really in control here because there's no one here. Like nothing alive is here.
Okay.
You can't even see any bodies or any. There's no like signs of blood, but there's like a few things, like a few odd things, I suppose, spring out to you. Like there's still like a few cereal bowls or coffee cups or stuff like that. Like people were here.
Yeah.
It's not like they packed up all their stuff and ran away. It's that they were living here and then
Now they're
weren't.
Okay. I'm gonna go with what's my enemy's true position, where I presume the enemy is the people or what happened to them, or like where are the people?
So yeah, I think you find like there's almost no sign of most of them, but like as you kind of swing around some of the buildings, you find like in one specific place there's like no one but you would have caught it. There's this tiniest little red dot of like just about 3 little blood specks on like the side, like a bit of snow on the side of one of the grass, and like a little roof kind of overhung it, so like it doesn't get covered. And then as you kind of turn, you see like just the slightest scuff marks in like snow again underneath a covering, maybe in the garage or something. You know, it's just the slightest scuff marks if something was dragged across. You maybe just about like it's just followable up until you see like it leads in the direction of the Great Storm, which is like howling just about 10 minutes drive away. It's a really weird, intimidating sight because it is literally
A wall.
Yeah, like there's just this line partition thing where this howling storm is there.
Okay. And my third question. I'm not going to ask what should I be on the lookout for because it's obvious it's from like more empty villages and stuff.
Yeah.
And like so. Where's my best way into the storm? Is there any place that's good, easy, better to get into the storm? Than anywhere else?
Yeah, I guess. Oh, sorry, I just realised my Facebook's showing. Whoops. While I'm trying.
Quick, spam it, everyone!
While I'm trying to make sure that we can get Chip back in the call. There's nothing interesting on there. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, so I think easy ways into the storm. It's kind of that's all relatively straightforward. It's just a thing of like having sufficient equipment to. I think maybe you don't necessarily find a way into the storm, but you find like their maps and stuff that show they've mapped like certain territories and things like that, like the nearby hospital or where they get most of their medical equipment from. An area that is like marked as boots on the map, where you can like dash in and out and stuff like that.
So they marked a hospital. Did you say?
Yeah, they've got places that are reachable and you can get back out again on like and where their equipment is sufficient.
Great, cool. Yeah, no, I don't think I've got enough. So yeah, so I like to shoot at like it's fucking empty. I reckon, like I found some blood. I reckon someone or something went into that village, killed them all, took them into the storm, and cleaned up after themselves. And they did a damn good job of cleaning up after themselves, but not good enough.
Yeah.
Also, I did, as much as all their shit is gone, I did find this map of basically the storm area. There's a hospital in there. There's some. That's definitely a hospital sign. The other signs I'm not too sure about. But I'd like to find. If you give me permission, I'd like to find out if the other villages are all right, and on the way to getting those supplies that we need.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Tudor, what do you say?
Grim tidings indeed.
Yeah, I think Margaret kind of looks
Shit's
over.
basically fucked everywhere.
Like she's busy working at her own little desk, and she looks over to you and kind of looking for the "Are we saved?" look. I guess she doesn't get one.
No.
Yeah, she like. You just see her make like a small like X motion, which has been more the case on a piece of paper, and like returns to staring at a lot of different pieces of paper, doing her best. Okay, yeah. What do you do?
Well, agree with Lux that we're going to have to investigate further, particularly the hospital marked on the map.
Okay. Yeah, so I think you've got like a few maps here. Like one map that we guys might recognize as like an older map of certain areas of Greater London. And yeah, like it marks out kind of like old pharmacies. Their one is overlaid with like descriptions of routes and stuff that they've managed to carve out through like you get a few notes of like giant ice wall and stuff like that where they're like this way is like bad storm basin here or something like that. They've got their own like bits of shorthand, but they're kind of drivers as well, so you pick it up, Lux. But yeah, you see a few places you could probably jump in and out of in a couple hours if you use that little camp as a base camp. And you could probably get in and out and see what you could scavenge. Yeah, I have one question for Tudor. How much experience does Tudor have with the Great Storm? Because I assume you aren't a Cecil Road born and bred. So I'm curious, like, have you ever been through, through in it? Because if you've ever been near it, you know it's psychic. like you definitely know it's psychic, in nature. Like there's a lot of weird psychic junk around that thing.
My character's probably from one of those like frontier towns,
Mm.
so he probably has some experience of
Yeah.
the psychic.
Yeah, because I mean, as we said, it's London, so I was almost thinking maybe your crown came from an expedition in there at some point, or something along those lines. Okay.
No, I kind of found it, so it kind of got blown by the storm into my path.
It's very, very Lord of the Rings of like you're just kind of out there
Yeah.
one day, and then this like thing like flumps in the snow, and just, you are the Lord of Britain. Cool.
So, Finbar, did you see what I posted in Skype about kicking Chip from the call because she's still in it, but she's not in it?
Okay.
So that might let her rejoin it.
Yeah. All right. I'll boot you, Chip. Try and come back. Let's hope this works. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you guys are having this conversation. I think this is when there's like a polite little rap at the door.
I think I'd probably go to open it.
Okay.
Like sort of.
Yeah.
Like with kind of like, I'm still a little bit nervous, so still with like a hand on my hip.
Yeah,
but,
you presumably have some like court loyal guards around here, or at least as court loyal as it gets. And yeah, like you get so one of the three, like the kind of tall Viking looking dude, from the Wintermute Institute is standing there next to whoever you've got running, kind of like the equivalent of what Cecil's old butler used to do. And yeah, he kind of just goes, "This man said he could help us with some of our problems." And looks up at you and says, "He knew the exact state of our medical supplies." Just kind of looks at you, Lux.
Well, I go.
Which,
well, it's not. It's kind of fucking obvious.
but like, he kind of used to look like he knew down to like every single detail that I didn't know, having read the report.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, he's just there, kind of stone-faced behind you, behind this guy. Looks very polite.
Cool. Yes. Then. Sure. Well, let's bring you in and let's
talk.
talk.
Okay. Yeah, so he
pour him a drink.
yeah, he comes in, he like sits down, I guess not too far from Stein. So yeah, this is probably the first time you guys have all really had a chance to see this Wintermute guy. The other two, like, you've seen them maybe moving around, they like never take off their snow gear. Both like, again, really tall, really wide set. This guy's a little thinner, seemingly, and he seems to have changed in like normal clothes. But he's like really pale, like more so than most other people. There's although this is a pretty pale world, you don't really get any sunlight here. But yeah, he's really pale. He's like, as I say, quite tall. He's got like blonde hair, and he looks around and goes, "My employer was hoping to speak with you all about the issues regarding your," he kind of gestures towards the table, "current state of affairs."
How did you know our state of affairs quite so well?
He turns to you and goes, "It is my business. I do not wish to insult, but I am. This is where I excel."
Sell at knowing what people's supplies are?
It is an easy way to leverage in this time of need. Something my employers have always valued.
Seems legit. Alright, so, what you're offering then?
I think he like pulls out a little piece of paper, and hands it to Tudor, and goes, that is my employer's current offer."
I open and read it.
So basically, he's offering to more than shore up your medical issues, like completely restock your supplies, send a few staff of his that he claims are like, he basically, you get like a little introduction thing of, dear, to the master of the holding known as Cecil Road, My name is Dr. Tessier. It's a pleasure to be introduced to you finally. My understanding is that you are lacking in supplies, and it would be my delight to shore you up. Goes on to lists off a bunch of like medical things. Like he talks about his expert staff. You get he describes himself as like a research center. Like they're scientists of some description, which is a pretty rare and odd profession in this day and age. But hey, and yeah, he says we've got plenty of medical people. But then goes on to list like that he'd like to be able to. First of all, he wishes to medically screen the inhabitants of Cecil Road and perform a few like tests on those who meet certain criteria. And that's as vague as he's like. Yeah, he's not really going into any more details. He does say that some of these tests may require them to visit his institute, where he is more equipped. In the letter, and then it is like signed Dr. Tessier.
I asked the guy to deliver the message if he knows what kind of tests and what kind of criteria, in somewhat more definable terms.
He goes. He just says, "These issues were not discussed with me. I would hesitate to speculate."
Could I read him?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Got a thumbnail XP. Thank you, Jamie.
Oh shit! Trying to send messages to Chip to sort her out.
That's another 10.
That is another 10. So you get 3 questions across this interaction.
Excellent. I want to know: is the character telling the truth there?
I mean, what he said was that it wasn't directly discussed with him, and that he wouldn't like to speculate. On that, yes, but he knows a lot more than he's saying.
Okay, we're going to go with, what does your character intend to do? But I'm hoping for, like, what's the organization intend to do?
Well, I think this is him. Like, you can't read Dr. Tessier from a letter, but you can read this guy. This guy is just, he doesn't care about you, I think. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so keep on.
Oh, yeah, so he doesn't care about you guys in, like, an emotional way, or particularly about helping any of you. Like, the very cold detachment is happening here. And it's just a case of he wants to get this deal pushed through. That's his, like, he wants to do his job.
Okay,
it's professional.
Finally, how could I get him to tell us exactly what Wintermute are like about, and how can I get him to tell us the consequences of making this deal, like the real consequences? Because no one's nice in the apocalypse.
Absolutely, no, that is accurate.
So how can I get him to like show us the?
So here's what you know. This I'm gonna have to get a little bit more. But you've noticed ever since he's been in the room, like you've been having some weird like goings on for the last week. Like, I think maybe no one else has really noticed it yet but your hair is growing like way faster.
Okay.
Like than it usually does. Like you'll wake up and notice a different length by the time from when you went to sleep. Yeah, same with your fingernails. Like you also just feel like really warm a lot of the time. Like you've been wandering like around outside like a full layer less than you would usually because it's actually unpleasantly warm.
I like being warm.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just been, and while this guy's been in the room, you've noticed like a strange kind of like your blood rate, your heart rate has risen a bit. It's like somewhere between your like the normal physiological reactions for lust and anger, but neither. Like you don't feel any particular emotional response. You just feel your body kind of preparing like a sort of something along the lines of fight or flight, but not exactly. Just around him. So I guess the way you can do what you want is like you know that he's looking for medical test subjects. It appears that you have something related to him in your physiology. The only
Okay.
yeah. So I guess you could probably, if you
Alright.
if you asked him about it, that might be the way. That's probably the only
Yeah.
way that only thing you have leverage on over
Okay.
him.
I could go. Alright. You've been looking at me weird all through this. What is it? What are you looking at me for? There's plenty of other pretty girls out there.
Yeah, I think at this point he like opens his like jacket, and inside like he is weirdly like wearing literally like a t-shirt underneath this big snow jacket, which is not traditional levels of layering. And he pulls out a small like a small needle, a little vial of chemicals, and like a little like pipette tray thing. And he goes, "I'd be delighted to show you. My employer if of course we're willing to consider my deal." And he looks at Judah.
I mean, if swabbing's all you're doing, I'm happy to swab.
Yeah, so I think he just kind of gestures towards maybe to Margaret at first and goes, to prove like it's kind of in the interest of fairness, and he like takes a small amount of blood from her, does also with a medical professionalism, he like does a little swab, does lots of like he keeps it's very sterile, like he knows what he's doing. Doesn't necessarily look like a medical professional, but he's obviously done this before. Puts a little bit of her blood on this tray and dabs a little bit of chemical in it, and like the blood kind of turns like clearer white, and with the whatever chemical is dyeing it. He then does changes needle, does himself, and his blood goes like a vibrant green. Then he asks you to come forward, and when he does, your blood also turns it's like slightly less vibrant, but also kind of greenish. And he goes, "Apparently you are advanced in the stages of what we're interested in." And he looks at Margaret and goes, "You are not."
Alright, so what the fuck is with my blood?
Yeah, I think as he tests you, he grabs the the part of your arm where the wolf bite was, and like pushes, push slightly, and then goes, "Have you been in contact with any strange?" He kind of like pauses. "You go outside into the waste a lot. Have you been in contact with any strange wildlife during your travels?"
Yeah, last week a fucking wolf bit me. With crazy human eyes.
Yeah, he nods and goes,
Because some fucking stupid idiot didn't fucking shoot him. Like, where was that Barker guy anyway? He needs to fucking nail him. Anyway, sorry, you were saying?
"Yes. We have observed that certain members of the wildlife locally have strange effects on the physiology of people. Some of these effects can be used usefully. You're warm, correct? Regularly?
Yes.
These sorts of things are of interest to my employer. The warmth factor may enable our species to actually walk the surface of the world again, if we can harness it to a sufficient degree. People who react well...
You have my curiosity.
People who react well to these exposures are the other kinds of qualities we're looking for. Certain tests can be performed. Most of the time they are harmless. We are wishing to study to try and make this world more habitable to us. We have already perfected plants that can survive even much harsher conditions than the ones usually." And he kind of gestures like down towards where you have like maybe on your food processing layer have like maybe 3 plant beds that you've with a lot of like effort keep going. And he's like, "Yeah, we have enabled plants that can grow in much less controlled conditions."
I am interested in going for more tests. How would you feel if we do? I don't necessarily. We don't know you. We ain't letting you test some general population. But I'll go with you to get some tests, and you can start. You send like half the shipment. If I okay them, they're not fucking ridiculous. Then you send the rest, and we let you test.
At this point, I cut in. And
He turns. He knows where the authority in the room is.
I go, "You certainly have our attention, good sir.
You have our attention now. You have my curiosity.
It seems to me that especially with information which someone as informed as you will definitely have heard, that people from the frontier towns have been disappearing. So something tells me that a human population is a somewhat of a valuable, rare occurrence in the region, which may be hindering whatever you're wanting to do. So I think that while these medical supplies are greatly appreciated, I think something tells me that you guys can negotiate a bit, maybe sweeten the deal. Possibly some samples of these plants that you have just spoken of would convince us to go forward with Lux's suggestion.
Man kind of appears to weigh this for a moment, closes his eyes, reopens them, and goes, I believe Dr. Tessio would wish to meet you himself before he discusses business.
Well,
would it be possible for you to travel? Possibly with the Lady Lux here, for her screenings. I'm sure something could be arranged as a advance in order to do so.
If you could provide an advance to treatment to deal with some of our more pressing injuries, I would be happy to meet.
Such as your
with
ribs?
The good doctor.
Yeah, he just cuts in like such as yeah. He like, and he kind of nods and goes, "We can I can send word ahead. They will send out a few. I've noticed that I believe your sick bay has a few critical condition patients. Yeah, so people in there include Rourke, first and foremost, who is not that slowly dying. And then a couple guys who've like sustained serious injuries from like trying to move all the wreckage from the elevator. Like one of them was like a bit collapsed on him and like a bit of like iron gird like speared him through the gut, and he's being kept alive just about with what little you have and with what like knowledge Stein has picked up of medicine. And yeah, like we can probably move something along to either keep them comfortable, assist their recovery, or ease their passing.
If you can ensure the survival to the best of your ability of those in the critical conditions, I'm sure I can afford to leave the city at this critical point to meet the good doctor.
And nods. Very well. Yeah.
Well, these are the guys from Wintermute, right?
Yeah. This is like their like representative. The other two never talk to anyone. This guy has been out a few times, maybe has spoken to one member of your court or two. This is the first time he's actually come up to see you.
Oh, what was the ghost lady's name again?
Rachel.
And then I go,
well, do you know that, actually? Stein, have you... Because the only person who's met her is Stein.
Okay, right, yeah. I forgot we had no name.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm suffering some serious character bleed here because I'm really overheating. I just have to open a window. It's bad.
Yeah, man. Power of the imagination. Yeah, cool. Okay. So... anything else?
And then I go, well, we'll set off once the sick bay has been stabilised. That is alright with you.
Yeah, he nods and kind of goes, very well. And yeah, leaves the room to go send messages somehow, which is weird, just so you're all aware. Like, satellites aren't a thing. Long-range communication is not a thing. So however he's doing this is certainly new.
Well, it's just augury, isn't it, Shelley?
Well, yeah, but that's not a move people... like, this is weird enough that there are two people in this hold that can do this. Alright, we're going to take a quick break after that scene ends, just to see if we can't get Chip back in the call and actually functioning. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with more Snowocalypse. So, until then,
cool.
Don't do anything silly.